Yo,
Oh, what's up, man?
Yo,
what's good?
It's cracking.
The
Happy New
goat
Year's,
is
man.
here. You heard,
I
yo,
guess.
D1, did you hear that Jiraiya shit though? That was wild.
Yeah, obviously Sage no Naruto's above, but I ain't gonna
Uh,
talk about that.
yeah,
yeah,
he had good logic with it though. I get where he was trying to go. It's
it's a
just
good
like
logic though. Yeah,
he was just
That's
ignoring a
why I'm
lot of shit
honest.
for Naruto. It's like, come on,
it was a
bro.
good attempt. It was a good attempt.
Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I just came to defend my goat, Rock Lee. I heard that you
Oh,
believe
you mean
Sasuke.
the tuning exams?
Yeah,
Okay, so you think Rock Lee beats Sasuke?
yeah, for sure.
All right, what's your argument for that? I mean, and by the way, I mean the Sasuke that fought Gaara. By the way,
Yeah, I know that Sasuke.
yeah.
I just think that Lee shown better feats than what Sasuke did.
How so?
Lee is stated to be faster than Sasuke multiple times.
At what point was he stated that?
Yeah.
Uh, during the Sasuke fight with Gar, there's multiple statements from Guy literally stating that like Lee is still faster than Sasuke. Like the statement about Sasuke almost reaching Lee's speed. He says two statements. He says that he like that's almost the same speed as his average speed, and he talks about the speed without the weights. And we know that like
Yeah,
Lee
weightless.
gets faster. Yeah, with the gates as
Weightlessly,
well.
yeah. So, do you think Sasuke with Chidori is slower than Rock Lee?
Yeah, I think so as well.
Well, how so?
I just think that the gates give a better, a more increase towards the physical prowess than the Chidori
Yeah.
does. Because
Uh,
while Sasuke is moving at that speed, we know that like he can be perceived. But like when
right.
Lee is moving at like his gate speed, like people can't even perceive it. It's to the point where like Kakashi literally had to pull out his Sharingan. But the known with
Yeah.
Chunin, they couldn't even see him, perceive him at all.
Right. So, what defense do you think was more dense? Do you think the dome that Gaara used against Sasuke, or the defense he used against Lee? What was like a denser defense
I
physically? I
think the
mean,
dome was.
so basically, my argument is it's a physics argument. The reason why Sasuke Chidori with Chidori is faster is because force equals mass times acceleration. He was able to penetrate a denser object than what Rock Lee never could, even in his fifth gate form with several punches. It only took one Chidori for him to penetrate a higher density defense of Gaara's. That's why I think he's faster. With Chidori, by the way. I'm not saying like base. Just with the Chidori. I think he's
Yeah,
faster.
the force equation is mass times acceleration, so it's not only
Yeah.
dealing with speed, all right? So the
Yeah.
fact
So
that
you go.
Uh,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, sorry.
The fact that Sasuke can literally penetrate the dome is not only based off his speed. We know that lightning style is literally superior to earth style. You know how like
I
elemental
knew it.
matchups work in Naruto. So we know
Yeah.
that's we know that's one of the cases, and we also know another case is that it's the jutsu nature itself, just the Chidori itself, the power of the Chidori, right? So I don't think that's relevant about speed at all. I just think that my
I
argument
think
about
it is because it shows one attack being able to penetrate a higher density object compared to a lower density object that was not penetrated with who knows how many strikes Lee used in fifth gate. I think that's quite the significant gap in performance as far as like what was penetrated and what wasn't.
hold on, wait,
You
Lee.
have a point with the natures. Natures do matter. I do agree, but the extremely significant gap in performance I think implies, and it's also stated that Gaara's strongest opponent was Sasuke as well. So that just further reinforces the premise that he's
Hold on.
superior.
Yeah, we could talk about the data extent. I think that's also about matchups as well.
yeah.
But
What?
the attack
Wait.
the thing
One
about
thing. My bad, D1. What's that? One thing to add for D1 though. I think what he's mainly advocating for is like because he's not like it's not like the whole speed thing. I think he's saying that like with Sasuke's Shidori, it's mainly like sold upon like the elemental advantage and with the AP that it has, and it's not necessarily correlating to speed. I think that's what he's
Well,
getting
speed
at.
correlates to AP though. AP is
Yeah,
increased by speed.
directly. Yeah, it's one
Uh,
of two
yeah,
variables.
that's
Yeah.
I understand that, but I'm saying it's not solely dependent on the speed. It's about both. So Sasuke can have a slower speed, but still have greater AP than Lee to the point
Yeah,
where he
see,
can
yeah, that's what you're
damage them.
saying.
It
No,
would
I
be
know.
yeah,
it,
it would be no
here's the
way
thing
for
though,
you to
because
prove that he's faster
yeah,
solely just
I
based
don't
off
really
that.
have to because I think the significant gap in performance implies it, and it would actually be your burden to prove why the nature had such a different effect on Gar's defense as opposed to Rock Lee's. Like, how can you quantify that that's
No,
the
no,
reason why, not because of the speed?
No, it's not up to me to prove that because you're the one who's claiming that you believe that he's faster based off this. You're saying that since his force was great
Yeah,
enough to
and I
produce.
substantiated it.
Oh, you're gonna keep cutting me off because I have not cut you off not once. I've been
Go
respectful,
ahead.
and you just keep cutting me off mid sentence. All right, I don't. It would be for you to need to prove that because you're the one who's claiming that this thing is the case, right? All I'm telling you is that this is not solely based off this, and I'm giving you an interpretation that literally directly defeated that because force is not only solely dependent on speed; it's about both speed and AP. So it could just be the amount of AP that he's producing along with the speed of the attack to just produce a greater force. Whereas you're saying that Lee didn't do this, but Lee never even punched against that sand dome because Gara never even produced a sand dome when he fought against Lee. The only thing that Gara did against Lee was put the sand armor. But we know in Gates that he wasn't even fast enough to put the sand armor even around himself. Is he was just getting blitzed over and over again. Right. The only time that Gara literally put like sand around him is when he puts it on the ground in order to like beneath his fall. So you can't even use that as examples.
Yeah, I think I can. And AP again is really correlated to speed, so that force is AP essentially. But going back to what I was saying, you
Or
said
less.
yeah, he didn't use the dome. He used a less dense defense. So yeah, it proves my point. He didn't use the dome. He used a less dense defense, and he still couldn't penetrate Gara's sand once. He was blitzing him, getting him in the air and stuff, but his sand armor was still protecting him, and it was never punctured by any fist of Fifth Gate Lee actually. Like even
It
towards the end.
was.
So
It was punctured even in base. What are you talking about?
I
I
never
mean, it was
saw
He
any
means
blood or
like
anything.
fully
it was
The
through.
Gara, the first time he
Yeah.
bled was against Sasuke, so I don't think it
it
was
was chipped
penetrated.
off, but like yeah, it wasn't
No,
like
no,
to the degree that
Yeah,
Sasuke had.
Gara
yeah,
does say like, oh, it's almost completely gone. So like that was impressed. Like at least sand
yeah,
armor to sand armor.
He
Like
didn't
he did
penetrate
take
it
more
though,
off,
like
but
one
yeah.
shot penetration.
Yeah, it's just
That's
one
the point.
shot too.
yeah,
With Sasuke, yeah.
yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah. Even one punch from Lee literally like made this sand armor literally get off Gara's face.
It
But
never
we
penetrated him
also
though.
no because the Chidori basically is penetration itself. It
That just
penetrates you.
helps my argument actually.
It's
But
different
the
methods.
point
It's
is,
different methods of attacks. There's two
he
different
never drew
methods of
blood like
attack.
Sasuke did. That's the point. His AP is inferior.
Because Sasuke penetrated him, which is going inside of him, whereas a punch doesn't literally penetrate you. It just puts physical damage on you. Two different methods of
But
attack.
many punches though, he still isn't able to penetrate it and draw blood, draw bruise, draw anything.
Okay, you're just begging the question. To go into the data book thing, the strongest opponent is just a matchup thing, where Sasuke is just a strongest opponent to Gar. I already showed you why that would contradict it because Lee just has better feats. Whereas like Gara can literally perceive Sasuke, but he can't perceive Lee at all. Lee just outright blitzed the fuck out of him to the point where Sasuke, while he's moving at speed, he could be perceived.
I mean, that was a linear attack. It wasn't like him going all over the place. That's why he's able to perceive him. It's a linear attack.
He
With
also
No,
no
he
has a
does the
dome
same.
too.
He does the same attack as Lee verbatim.
Yeah,
What do you mean
Lee
the same
does
attack?
charge straight too. Yeah, he used
Yeah,
the kick and
he
Sasuke.
does
Yeah,
this. Yeah, he does the same exact move Lee does. That's why like they showed the little after images of Lee, literally. I mean, of Sasuke being Lee, right? And he does the same exact moves. Whereas Gara can literally perceive these movements, but when Lee does it, he couldn't perceive them at all.
I mean, he wasn't he in the dome when the Chidori
Yeah,
hit?
that's what I was gonna say. Like he
Yeah,
couldn't
Gar
perceive
was using
Hold on,
Sasuke's
his
wait. I'm
attack
not even.
sand.
anyways
I'm not
because
even.
he
Hold on,
wasn't.
wait. Yeah, I'm not even talking about the Chidori right now. I'm talking about the other factors. We already went over the Chidori point. I think
Basically,
you
I
just
mean, I'll agree. Sasuke is slower than Fifth Gate Lee, though. I'm talking about just Chidori, not
no,
the.
no. I'm not even talking about fifth Gately. That's obvious. I'm talking about even in base, he's slower.
I mean, he said he's like relative to weightless Lee. A guy said that rather.
He says he's about. That's what I'm saying. If he's not,
Yeah,
if
relativity.
he's slower, yeah. If he's slower than that Lee in base, and we know that Lee gets massively faster with the gates, like it's a 12 times amp. And Chidori, we know that people can still perceive Sasuke moving at this speed, and they couldn't perceive Lee because that's the really the point in the contention right now that you're not really addressing. You just gave the
Again,
little
it's because of linear
point
motion,
situation.
but
Oh,
easier to perceive a linear motion rather than like a lateral linear motion where he's going all over the place. That's what Lee was doing.
no, even when Lee is moving at this weightless speed, they couldn't perceive him, and he wasn't moving in linear fashion. He was all over the place as well in weightless.
In a linear fashion, people with Sharingans couldn't perceive him. Like someone with Kakashi's caliber couldn't perceive him.
No, weightless. He wasn't moving in a linear fashion. He was moving all over the place, and the
That's right.
children, the Guinea there couldn't even perceive him where they could
I mean, that's
proceed
not
to
really
Sasuke.
impressive. They're just tuning in their weaker iterations there as compared to the final matches of the tuning exam anyway. So, I mean,
No, they're the same ones. People like Sakura was there. She didn't train or get any stronger from that. She doesn't train. Choji and all of them was there. They didn't get
she
stronger.
perceived the Chidori.
She was literally looking at Sasuke during the
I mean,
fight.
does
If
that prove she
Sasuke
perceived it? She was
literally,
watching the fight. It doesn't prove
I
she
don't. I
perceived
don't
if
it.
remember
we
much
know, if
emphasis
we
on that
know,
as
if
well.
we knows there's narrative statements that literally implies people's speed when they can't perceive it or stuff, and they know that it's stated. If this thing is consistent and we know that it's not shown or literally stated, it brings a likelihood that these things are the case.
Yeah,
I don't think
like
so. I
I'll
think
say
someone with that
this.
kind of speed.
Like
I don't think so.
I'll say this. Like if we like are comparing like objectively, like with Lee and Sasuke, Lee was definitely like a badass, and like he definitely has that. Like all everybody was like, we can't fucking see this guy. Like even in the anime, like he's like in a whole other dimension, bro. He was pretty cracked. And then like Sasuke,
I mean,
he
at
goes
that point,
and,
everyone was fodder at that point. It's tuning, though. It's not really impressive to me, but
No,
you have to
no,
prove
I'm
it.
just
There's
saying,
a lot
like with Lee,
Sakura.
like having that, it was pretty cool. And then like and like when we get to like the next shooting exams, it's like it's all normal. So like the hype and like the emphasis of Lee was pretty fucking legendary. It was really cool, way greater than Sasuke. At least I'll say, you know what I mean? Sasuke's moment was the Shidori moment where he like does it, bam, everybody's like, what the fuck is that? And then he goes and just stabs.
There was a lot of emphasis on like the training with Kakashi and Sasuke. Like, you're gonna have to be a certain like speed factor in order to even utilize this ability. And there was a narrative
Yeah, he
like
says that.
emphasis
Yeah,
on
you need to
that
be a
at
certain
least.
speed to use Shidori. Yeah, yeah.
It only makes sense that Sasuke, obviously with Chidori, have to be a pretty high caliber of speed, even just going off the narrative analysis.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense because like we see like Kid Kakashi, we see the other ones and that's the problem with Kakashi, like because Kid Kakashi, he's very fast, right? You know what I mean? And then like he's fighting all these Jonings and whatnot in the war and shit, and then he does Shidori, which there's people that believe it's not a speed amp, there's people that think it's a small one or massive, whatever. But either way, he does Shidori, which is a speed amp, right? Let's say that's what's being put into place, and yet he's still like basically equal with this guy charging at him. And then basically he would have got killed in minutes to saved him, but he needs the Sharingan to perfect it. So it's really interesting, like that whole thing with Sasuke where they say, oh, like, yeah, like you're slow as fuck, you need to get this level. It is really interesting. I think that's more along with like with Gaara, especially because Gaara's whole problem is his fucking sand, and if you can't get past that shit, what do? You know what I mean? Like you have to be faster than the sand. So Kakashi was like, hey, you need to get this shit up to ball because otherwise, you're kind of fucked. And then if you incorporate that speed along with the Shidori, oh, GG, you win, right? You got it, So
Yeah.
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 Also, I think
Yeah.
Kakashi and Guy have been relative the whole series, and honestly, and it's not analogous per se, but it's something to take note of. It's like Kakashi has Chidori, and he seemed to be like relative to my Guy with like 6 or 7 gates on, right? So it's just another point of
Lord,
reference. Yeah.
In the beginning, Guy was superior though. I'm just saying, way superior, even in base.
Especially Rusty ass Kakashi.
Yeah, Rusty Kakashi. Yeah, no, he was way over. Like Kakashi fell behind while Guy kept training, and he was actually ahead of him for once. Like it was flat out even said by Sasuke. He's like, "What the fuck?" Like he's just way more faster than Kakashi.
But yeah, do you have anything else, or do you just want to say your piece to the topic?
Like any more else to talk about via topic wise or like that topic we were just discussing?
Yeah, that topic. Yeah.
We could go into the Kimimaro stuff.
Kimimaro? What is
shit.
that?
You
You mean Rock Lee with Kimimaro?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Are you gonna use that to scale him, or?
yeah,
Yeah, it's just to substantiate
okay.
what he was saying originally with the whole speed stuff.
yeah.
Okay.
You just know that like a QB amp Naruto just like gets hold by Kimimaro basically.
Yeah.
You agree that Naruto is stronger from his tuning exam counterpart, correct?
I don't know if he was stronger than the one that fought Gaara. That was like he was saving the love of his life and like his best friend. I don't know. The Gaara iteration Naruto. I don't know if he's stronger than that, but
Mentally up
I
to
don't know. It's the same scenario where he's trying to protect Sasuke.
I mean, yeah,
You
he was
do
trying to
know-
save Sasuke, but his immediate life wasn't in danger though. It's a little different.
It was in danger if he would have got killed by Kimimaro if he didn't defend himself.
No, I mean they're similar, but the situation in the former is more extreme, and his love of his life was on there as well. Like
The
your life
situation
line?
was Gaara was trying to defeat Sasuke and Naruto's protecting. The same thing where Sasuke is trying to get taken over by Orochimaru, and Naruto wants to bring him back to the village. Well, there's another argument for why he would be stronger.
Yeah.
Like when he's more infused with the Kurama chakra, that he like gets like he starts looking like Kurama.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the. So we know that he's getting more chakra from Kurama than his Chunin counterpart in the fight with Neji and Gaara. Because when he fights against Gaara, he's not getting Kurama amp to the same degree.
Well,
Okay. So what's the point? What's the point
yeah,
of that?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that he should be stronger since he's getting more chakra from Kurama. We know Kurama
Okay.
gives him a bit more strength and speed.
Okay. And what's the relevance of that for topic?
Sasuke literally fights against Naruto, that same Naruto that literally got bitched by Kimimaro.
I think he was more amped there, especially towards the end.
No, I'm not talking about Amp. I'm talking about base Naruto.
Oh, base Naruto?
Yeah.
You're saying the base Naruto that fought Kimimaro is the same base Naruto that fought Sasuke?
No, a QB Amp fought against Kimimaro. A base Naruto fought against Sasuke.
And what was the point again? Say it again.
That base Naruto scales to that Sasuke, who should be stronger than his Chunin counterpart.
Oh, you're saying that base Naruto scales to the Sasuke that fought the QBM, the Naruto at the end.
No. So not the QBM Naruto. Don't you know how the fight starts out? They all starts out in base, then they go into
In base,
like
yeah.
yeah. So I'm saying that base Naruto scales to that base Sasuke or the Sharingan Sasuke.
Yeah, because Sasuke had to use Curse Mark to like start getting the advantage on base Naruto, basically. And then in base to base, he does Shidori, Naruto does Rasengan, they clash. But...
Yeah, when they're amped. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay,
I'm
so
saying that Sasuke should scale above his self against the Chunin because you know that the curse mark, although they should not utilizing the curse mark, you still get an increase in base. You're aware of that, right?
From
Perhaps
just having the curse mark?
Yeah, because it makes you stronger overall. Like how he went through that whole phase where he had to like go into the cocoon and go through this whole process, and it just made him stronger.
in terms of chakra ampage, yeah, but not necessarily like chakra control though. At
Oh
least
yeah, of course,
not
that's separate.
not in
Of course,
yeah. Yeah.
Sasuke and Naruto
know,
were ass at that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm assuming you're gonna say Rock Lee scales above him because of how well he did against Kimimaro.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just drunk Lee. That doesn't really matter.
Base Lee is faster.
What was that? Base Lee's faster?
No, it's stated that he's slower.
I mean, who was required to take him down? I think overrides that.
Huh?
There's a guy and Lee and Neji had to like restrain him because of how dangerous he was drunk.
No, I'm saying there's a direct statement that literally states that like he was slower in his
Gaara, right?
counterpart.
I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. I know it's
Was he already drunk at that point?
No.
Yeah, so
He was talking about base Lee.
basically what happens is Lee fights Kimimaro in base, and they're basically equal to each other because base Naruto couldn't do anything to Kimimaro. He would have just got killed instantly. It's just shown, and that's why he had to use 2,000 clones and use the QB chakra along with the mental amp to fight Kimimaro in base. But then Lee shows up, he's equal just base to base, and then Lee does the drunken fist, which is what you're recalling, Jay. And then he's like beating the fuck out of Kimimaro, because Kimimaro would have beat basically in the end. What's it called? And then basically Kimimaro uses partial CM1, and he wakes up Lee and he starts to hit him and make him bleed. And then Lee does the first gate, and then he's forced to use partial CM1 again. And then he's like impressive speed, and he even acknowledges Lee like your speed is like really like something. So, but.
But you said when Gaara appeared and said that statement, Lee wasn't drunk at that point?
Yeah, no. That was first gate. Yeah, when he watched it.
It doesn't apply then.
Yeah, I think first gate is faster than Drunken Lee.
How did you prove that?
Kimimaro comments on his speed change when he goes into first gate. He literally calls his speed impressive.
I mean, it doesn't prove it's faster.
If he goes from saying that one... Yeah, if he doesn't call one speed impressive and then he calls another speed impressive, there is a distinction between the two speeds.
It
Not
just means
necessarily.
that
I mean,
he.
it's a
It just means he
possibility.
got faster from his pace, which is impressive, I guess. You know, but I
Yeah.
mean, not something to take
Again,
much
That's what
note
I'm
of. I would say.
that's what I'm arguing for, that he's faster.
I don't think that doesn't necessarily prove that. Just because he said it's
It,
impressive, it doesn't mean it's
yeah,
faster than the
I
original.
didn't say it necessarily does. I said it brings a likelihood. I mean, you would need to show like something that imply that he's not faster. I don't think you can
And I
demonstrate
think the
that.
statements about Drunk Lee having to
That
be
can just
restrained by Neji and who gets his ass whooped regularly in first gate.
Yeah, restrainment doesn't have to do with anything about speed. It just has to deal with
Yeah,
like the
it's the ability
unpredictability. No,
to take
it's
him down. I mean, if guy speaks higher of that, then he's spoken of the first, third, or the first, second, or third gate.
Mhm. Guy never went into the second or third gate. You would need to show that. He never says that.
No. I didn't say he went to the gate. I
He's
said
talking about
he
Lee.
speaks higher of
Yeah.
drunk. He speaks higher of drunk Lee than he does of the gate Lee, like 1, 2, and 3. And those are the
Huh?
same gates that get whipped by Neji regularly.
He never makes a comparison between the gates and Drunken Lee.
No, I'm not saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he doesn't talk of those gates in such a
Yeah,
high
he says
esteem
that the
as a
emphasis, the
comparison.
narrative emphasis, is greater than Lee with the Gates when he talks to Sonade and all that. When Lee uses drunken, then compared to Lee, that's
Yeah.
what he's advocating.
Yeah, I didn't say
The only
comparison though.
reason, the only reason is because Lee is out of control when he's in drunken state, whereas in the gates he's more controlled. So that's what's
So,
literally questioned. He never even
so
makes that comparison.
you're claiming that out of control Lee would beat Neji if he's out of control.
That he would beat Neji.
Just
Yeah, because
needs
you
to be
said
more
more on the.
unpredictable.
I don't know. I don't really even need to even justify it. I don't believe
That's what you
why
just
that's.
said. The reason
I
why he
never
was
said
such a
that.
threat because he's out of control. That's what you said.
Yeah, so I'm saying that it's not about the speed thing. It's just about how he makes these unpredictable movements, which Kimimaro even talks about in the fight as well. He's
I mean,
unpredictable.
if first of all, I'd say Kimimaro was definitely not going all out until the Gara fight. Firstly, so this wasn't like full power bloodlusted Kimimaro versus Drunk Lee anyway. But the fact
Until
that
Go ahead.
Guy and Neji had to restrain him, while conversely Neji whips on gates 1, 2, and 3 regularly, kind of implies like the difference.
No, I don't think Neji ever fought against the third gate regularly. I only think the only time that it's shown that they spar with each other.
No, this
I
guy
don't think that
says
he
that like
utilized
he would
gates
need
in
this gate
sparring.
to take on Neji, so that's kind of
Yeah,
what I
Neji shows
referenced.
like
Yeah,
genuine like shock when he sees like I think it's the fourth
Well,
gate or the fifth
no,
gate.
no,
that would
he
be
says verbatim he needs the hidden lotus, which
yeah.
requires gate 3, bare minimum.
Which is 3.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
that would
Either
be
way, we're talking about the
contradicted.
first gate, so it
Yeah, that
doesn't
would be
matter.
contradicted via my scaling that I already provided. We know that Neji gets beat up by a weaker Naruto, and Naruto gets bitched by Kimimaro. The same Kimimaro Lee can scale to, so that was just contradicted.
I don't think he scales to him. I don't think he's using effort. I think Gara shut up before he could have gone any further.
No, I'm saying he does give effort because he tells Lee that you leave me no choice, and he has to utilize some of the curse mark in order to like get Lee out of the drunken state.
I will say this, I'm gonna be honest, I think Drunken Lee slams the fuck out of Neji, though. That's just me, though.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
another argument to say is that don't you know like Lee literally talks about like how he needs to like hold Kimimaro off, and if he goes into the gates, and we know that like he said he can't push himself too hard, right? That's why he literally uses like the sake to make himself drunk and shit. And he says that he can't utilize the other efforts of the gates because that's going to make his body
He'll die if he does it, yeah.
yeah, basically. Right. That's why he taps into the first gate. And we know that in order to hold Kimimaro off, he's not going to use something that wouldn't be beneficial to hold him off, right? If he believes that. So he wouldn't go into a weaker form than drunken state in order to try to hold him off because we just see that drunken state didn't work. He just got bitched in drunken state. So he would try to use something that would be able to hold him off.
And the
That's
drunken
another
state isn't
argument.
something he can like intentionally go into. He needs alcohol. I mean,
And
it's
he
not like he
didn't
can go
intentionally
into the
take the
drunk league.
alcohol either. It was a
Yeah,
mistake.
wasn't
Need that
intentional.
prep time,
That-
boy, you gotta
oh
go
my-
to a bartender.
Yeah, that doesn't really defeat the argument because the argument here is that if Lee knows that he won't be able to hold him off with this thing or even have a chance, there will be no point of him even doing so, right? So if he taps into the gate, and we know that the drunken storm just got hold, and then Kimimaro also states that his speed is impressive, but he doesn't call his speed impressive with the drunken
Drunken
state.
fist, yeah.
He just says that he's unpredictable. That's why it's hard for him to literally hit him. Okay, that's the only thing, right? there's just two arguments leading to my side that he's obviously faster in the
I don't think
gates.
I don't think unpredictability and speed are mutually exclusive. I think if you're unpredictable and they can't handle your movements to some extent, you're at least relative in speed to land shots. You can be
He did
unpredictable
land a
but
shot
slow
on
as
him.
hell and it won't matter.
He did land a shot on him.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, he couldn't even perceive Lee in his first gate, but he could perceive him in the drunken state.
Perceive him in his first state.
In the
First,
drunken state, he could.
first gate.
In the drunken state, he could perceive him. In the first gate, he couldn't.
Yeah, like what's really interesting about overall, like there's people that think drunken fist is either equal to gate one bare minimum, or it's like above, or vice versa, or one's weak, whatever, blah blah. But like,
I think Neji's like history with him negates that Drunk Lee is first gate level or below. The fact that Guy and Neji had to intervene to restrain like someone that was drunk implies it's the most likely assumption that Drunk Lee is above that.
No,
It's not a physical
like,
feat. It's not a statement.
No, just listen. Like, and when you're drunk, you're not yourself. So you just do a bunch of stuff that you normally wouldn't do. Right? Say, for example, would it be harder for you to like try to restrain me if I was drunk at a club, or would it be easier if I'm just myself?
Depends on how
Obviously, our
drunk you
answer
are.
would be, yeah, that's what I'm
There's
saying.
multiple
But
factors to that, like the person in question.
How
Is the
drunk
person
you are.
trained or not? If you're
no,
trained,
no, no.
it's definitely hard. It's definitely harder to subdue you sober than drunk, because if you're drunk, you don't have those techniques in mind. You're kind of like disoriented and kind of high essentially from the alcohol. So it depends on the person in question.
No, because when you're drunk, you just do all types of stuff that you wouldn't normally do while you're like
No, the
sober.
thing is,
All right.
let's say we have two wrestlers, right, and they're wrestling, if they're both like relative in, let's say they're relative in ability. If we change the parameters, they're both the first case they're both sober, they're both relative, so they have like a relative battle. But we change the parameters. One of them is drunk now. The person that's sober is gonna manhandle him. It doesn't matter if he's
Yeah,
unpredictable. He'll be disoriented and.
that's the circumstance here. A guy or Neji is not trying to harm Lee, whereas somebody who's trying to manhandle somebody, they don't care about harming them
I
or
mean, you
not.
can
They just
manhandle
want to try
somebody
to do
without like
anything.
lethally harming them. That's not
Yeah,
necessarily the case.
I don't think Guy in them is trying to harm them, so it would be harder for them to do so. Whereas they were trying to inflict damage on Lee, it would be easier to do so because Guy could just fucking punch Lee in the fucking stomach and make him go to sleep and then restrain him.
The point is,
Obviously, they were
it's
trying to
easier
restrain
to
him.
do so. It's easier to do so against someone trained when they're not at their best, and when you're intoxicated, you're not at your best. That's the point.
Yeah,
So
like,
the
Guy
point,
does say
Guy
to
could have
Tsunade,
easily.
like, cause Tsunade says, like, Guy, what, like, with your caliber, why didn't you like not know Diff Lee? And
Exactly.
he does say like it's because he's my beloved student. I didn't want to injure him, so we were just trying to calm him down and restrain him. But
Exactly. So it was a circumstance
The point is,
towards this restraining. So it's not the fact that
point
the
is
drunk state is
that
more stronger.
if he was not
But just,
drunk, Guy wouldn't have to intervene. Neji already schools him regularly, so he could have
yeah,
just done it
that's
himself.
it's contradicted though via feast. That's a
How's that
weaker Lead
contradicted?
that you're talking about. The feast that I literally displayed.
yeah, Jay's
How is that
having a
contradicted?
narrative analysis argument though of what he's doing with like the drunk. He's basically
Yeah.
saying like the drunken fist, like the fact that it's taking Guy and Neji. You know what I mean? While with the gates, it was always like Neji narratively being shown to be above, therefore drunken should be more superior. But
Yeah, I already gave. Yeah, I understand that, but I
Yeah.
already gave my counter arguments towards why that thing is circumstantial, whereas in the Gates thing is different.
yeah.
But
in that
the other
case,
thing about Kimimaro couldn't perceive Lee in the first gate, but he perceived him in the drunken state.
give me 1 second. Yeah, but again, in this context, Lee's a trained fighter. Yet they have a harder time manhandling him when he's intoxicated than when he's sober. That's the point. He's superior
How
when
does-
he's intoxicated.
How does that respond to the Kimimaro stuff?
So the drunk Lee things and the first gate is not superior to the drunk Lee.
Okay. We get into here. Nice convo though.
Okay, it's a good conversation. That actually is that's an interesting topic.
That was
I'm not gonna
good.
lie.
That was really interesting, bro.
Trying
Yeah,
to
that
such
was
a
a good
one-off
topic, though.
comment. Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, no.
That is
yeah,
an interesting
drunken-
topic, but
Yeah.
I think the most blatant piece of information, like the most incriminating for his side, is the fact that how Guy spoke so highly of Drunk Lee and it needed him and Neji to restrain him, while conversely Neji whips even up to like the second gate regularly. I get it. They're not imposing damage, but why would someone that's intoxicated need Guy and Neji to restrain him when they're actually combating? Neji could whip second gate Lee like effortlessly. It's kind of negated. It's kind of negated. His point's negated by that.
Yeah, like I'll say this, like from what I at least know so far and seen, I think the like bare minimum you can argue that like the first gate is in a similar realm of scaling with the Drunken Fist. What's called it's either, you either argue Drunken Fist is over or you argue they're in a similar. And the only way you can really go about
Yeah.
that is like if you analyze the Drunken Fist, like Kimura just says, oh, okay, fucking he's too fast and he's unpredictable. Like this is really bad. I'm getting beat the fuck up. What's it called? Let me use the curse mark. He uses the curse mark. Now Lee can't do anything. Then Lee uses the first gate. He has to use the curse mark again. He doesn't like react in base or
Is it?
anything, you know. But
Isn't the reason why he went to first case because he lost like his because he started bleeding and like he got detoxed, like he
yeah,
wasn't
it woke
intoxicated
him up
anymore?
from his stupor. Yeah, like from his
So in a
drunkenness.
way, that doesn't prove that first gate is superior. That just proves because Lee was detoxed, he had to use the first gate because he was no longer intoxicated. That doesn't negate that, but
Yeah, yeah, no, no.
that's a good discussion
I
now.
wouldn't go as far to say like it's a superior, but like to just say like it's similar in a sense or some regard. Because the fact
That's
like
fair.
Kimura is
Yeah.
not going to do shit for no reason. You know what I mean? Like that's just not how he operates.
Yeah,
The fact that he had to use the curse mark and then he still even compliments the
he
first
did
gate
it.
too. You know, but
Yeah, he
so.
did that while Lee was still intoxicated, right? To
Oh
the
no no no
first.
no! He was back to base. He didn't have the red marks, and he was fully like back to normal basically. But he was all like, "What the fuck happened?" And he's like, "Okay, this fight's not over. Let me use the first gate because if I go any farther, I'll die."
Yeah.
And then he uses the first gate, and then Kimimaro
Cleanses
has
his
to
mind a
use
little
the
bit.
curse mark to deal with that.
Oh, okay,
Gotcha.
so he didn't use the curse mark till the first gate.
No, no, he uses for both times. He uses it against Drunken Lee when he's forced to, and he uses it against
Yeah.
First Gate Lee when he's forced to. He was
Oh, okay,
forced.
got it.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's really interesting
Okay.
because like Kimamaru fought then, like, well, Kimamaru was blatantly over base Naruto and Shikamaru. It's just shown throughout, and even when
Yeah,
the
that's
fight,
for sure.
yeah, and then when
Yeah.
Naruto goes QB and all those clones and a mental amp on top of it, it was there was some similar dichotomy, basically what we see in the Gar stuff, but I know that's all whole other shit, but
Yeah.
basically that happens, and Kimamaru in base he can manipulate his bones, so he can attack from anywhere, right? Like he has jutsu activations, kind of similar to Susanoo. So that's basically
Yeah.
what he's doing, and he's just shitting on that Naruto. And then Lee comes up, and like the moment Lee comes up, he hits Kimimaro when he went to kill base Naruto. And like even though it was from behind, technically you could argue like off guard, whatever, blah blah. That's fine. What's it called? But when he first sees Lee, just by gauging at him and like reading him, he's like, okay, he's not. He like he says in the manga, he's not as easy as the others. In the anime, he says he's more skilled than the others. What's it called? And it's just really interesting because that compares all the other people. And then he actually has an equal fight, something base Naruto couldn't do, and then even Kyuubi Naruto is like couldn't really do. And then basically it goes like further. Then we see the drunken stuff. Then we see the first gate shit. And then what makes it even more crazy is then Gara comes, he watches that shit, and he's like, "Hey, you were faster and sharper when we last fought. Like,
Yeah, I
what's up
remember
with you,
that.
bro? Like, you're a bitch. You know what I mean? Like get it together." And then everyone's like, "Wait, what the fuck?" You know what I mean? So it's really interesting how Lee looks really good. Like he looks pretty good in a cinema spotlight. Like six, like he had like a video on that, and he was like, he did his whole argument was, "Oh, this is just inconsistent. Like fuck all this shit, basically." But either way, like it is really interesting for any Lee fans or anyone that advocates for him. Even for Neji, that helps too. It does make him look good, especially in comparison to that Naruto and Sasuke, because that Naruto and Sasuke are similar the whole time. And then the whole Sound 4, they were competitive to Naruto and Sasuke in their base forms. And then Kimimaro is just shitting on all over that. So it's really weird how in the Retriever arc it somewhat shows that like Lee and Neji are more superior than these two. But yeah, we have everything else as well. Like it's really interesting, but I don't know. So, but there's contentious value, but it just depends how you go with it and what you advocate for.
Yeah, it's such a niche one-off moment. It's hard to really like get all the
Because like
pertinent
Saikon,
details down.
like he
You know
just
what I mean?
he caught Naruto's Rising On like it was nothing, and that was just in base. Like Naruto throws a Rising On, runs at him, and he just catches that shit. He's like, "Hey, bitch, this is useless if you can't even touch me." You know what I mean, like all this Sound 4 blatantly like just beating him up, goofing on him. And then Neji like is over here shitting on the Spider-Man guy where he has to be a bitch and then fight from a distance, you know, like it just concedes close combat, whatever. So it's just really interesting how Lee and Neji can be more superior than Sasuke and Naruto in combat, or at least with their interactions with the Sound 4. It is interesting. So, but it is what it is.
Well, it's one of those title topics, man. It's like never ending, and it's for good reason as well.
Yeah. I just love Rock Lee.
Alright.
He's my favorite. Like at the end of the day, if I can be fucking biased for him or whatever, or even like try to advocate for him instead of what people normally advocating for like Naruto and Sasuke or whatever. Because obviously Naruto and Sasuke is the whole narrative side of argumentation, right? It's
Oh,
statements
Rock
and
Lee,
yeah.
it really got the whole fan base into Naruto in the first place, I feel like.
Oh,
You know, like
facts.
the tuning exams,
Yeah.
like, that was such a huge part of everyone's like memory. So it's like, yeah, he deserves his credence and respect, bro, for
Facts,
sure.
yeah. It's like
He's dope.
it's really interesting. Like Naruto and Sasuke, they have the statements and then they have like the fucking the narrative emphasis, right? Lee and Neji are just straight up feats. Just straight up feats, bro. Just being that guy with no, no plot, armor or amps and whatever. They just earn that shit.
Yeah, facts, man. Yeah, just
And
raw
also-
talent, bro, and determination. Yeah.
Like even
You can't
Neji with
beat
Naruto, like I
Sorry,
feel like a
y'all,
lot
I'm
of
back.
people like will look at that shit and kind of like shit on him for it. It's like bro, he shitted on base Naruto,
Yo,
and then
yo,
like, and mind
you
you,
guys hear me
Naruto's
still?
like he's
Yes,
nowhere
sir.
near as amped with the Gaara shit, but he's amped to a certain regard because he's thinking of Lee, he's thinking of Hinata, he wants to beat him.
All right.
Promise, whatever. But
Someone sent a donation. My bad, brother.
no, you're good. You're
Gotcha.
good.
Let me put these on the screen. I got you, man. Thanks, Dimitri.
The
How much
goats.
did he
Gotcha.
donate?
I'm back, folks. Sorry, I had to move real quick. I'm still here. My bad, y'all.
Oh, you had a dip from. I was wondering where you went. I was like, wait, where'd he go?
Yeah, I had to go do something.
But like,
When
you,
you're
you
Jay the
remember
Great with
recalling
10
that
million
though, right,
subs.
Jay?
What'd
Like
you
when Neji fucking slam faced Naruto on tuning exams.
Oh god.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
and mind you, like, he even had, like, his mental amps and shit, and he's still, like, they were nowhere near to the extreme, like, Gaara. I'll say that, but...
Oh yeah, no,
yeah, but it was still, like, it was still a mental amp, whatever, blah, blah, 'cause he's thinking of Hinata, you name it, Lee, and all that, and he was trying, but Neji was just shitting on him effortlessly. And then,
that was a really bad
Neji gets,
weapon.
like, not nerfed, but he gets fatigued, and then Naruto gets, like, a senso beam, basically. Gets the Nine Tails, recovers fully, stamina, injury, you name it. 'cause
Oh,
he
the Zenkai boost.
yeah, literally, bro. And then
Yeah,
he's equal
yeah.
to Neji.
Oh shit,
which-
Alexa with $50. Alexa
shit.
has returned.
The bidding war begins.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I like
Bidding
what
war? Where's Sir
Shinobi
Goats at?
said.
Sir Goats in here? Sir Goats in here? Oh, he wasn't here, huh? Shit.
Bro, he's literally
W.
verbatim. The war begins.
Yeah.
Bidding
Team J.
wars, $100. Anybody else?
Sir.
Higher.
Appreciate the 50, Alexa. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
But yeah, D1, the one with D1, that's a good topic though. That is a good topic to discuss.
Yeah, no.
That's a good
hey,
topic.
you wanna know the craziest thing? How a lot of people try to fucking shit at him or say he's retarded. Like the guy clearly has
D1's a
logic. He
good-
clearly has good argumentation.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
He's
No,
a good debater.
absolutely.
He's a good debater.
like it's
Probably
crazy
the best
how
one we've
people
seen.
shit on him.
I think he's the best debater that's been in here today. Like,
Thank
in the
you. Thank you. What the fuck?
call. Yeah, he's the
Oh,
best
yeah.
one that we've had in here.
Like,
Clearly.
come on, bro.
Like his arguments are the toughest to refute. Admittedly, they're the toughest ones.
Like, people are just
Everyone
weird.
else just like
Well, it's because
fallacies.
of Drunk Lee. It's just such a weird topic to divulge.
It's a very
into,
nuanced,
so.
like arbitrary.
And it's a throwback too.
Yeah.
Like even Jay was like, "Damn, I don't." You know what I mean? Like I would have to go
It's
back
been
to
a
that
hot
shit.
minute. Straight up, dog.
I've
Yeah.
just seen it
Hot
so
minute.
many times because I've been doing so much prep work for part 1 scaling videos. Cause I'm trying to do part 1 first and then go to Shippuden because Shippuden's
a lot of good topics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shippuden's a whole other fucking can of worms and just way more contentious value because we don't have a lot.
Yeah.
What's it
Yeah.
called? But part 1's pretty fucking, like it's
Goated?
pretty
There's a lot of good
straightforward.
shit.
Yeah,
There's a
goated
lot
and
of good shit.
straightforward. Yeah.
There's the tuning exams. There's
Short, too.
Yeah, Kakashi and Guy stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good
Then we
shit.
see,
in part one, for
Hiruzen
sure.
and the Sonic. That was blatantly clear.
Oh yeah,
Like,
here's
yeah.
him.
yeah, then we
For
see
sure.
Itachi. He's like the top dog, blatantly clear, even above Hiruzen or Orochimaru. Like, it's all pretty
Yeah.
straightforward, you know?
And 10-10. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Fucking, so
Yeah,
it's
I think
like,
we've handled ourselves well though. We're the ones taking all the random topics. We did all right so far.
yeah, no, yeah, but as for all the other, like, dinglings, like, don't get me wrong, whatever, love and respect, whatever, but it's like, come on, bro. They're just over here, like grasping
Kisame-
for straws.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of
Vader
people attacked
have-
Kisame today. I feel like.
yeah, that was crazy.
Kind of weird, bro. Yeah.
Like,
first guy
I'm
did,
sorry, but
the
that
second guy did.
Jiraiya Naruto shit, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, Chrome. I think he was just playing devil's advocate. I don't think he believes that.
I don't know, bro.
He
It
had a
sounded like he
valid-
believed in it.
I
Yeah.
saw where he was coming from, though. Like for
Oh
sure.
no, yeah, I
Like,
did too.
definitely.
Like the way he was approaching it is a good way. That is the way to do
It was good. No,
Yeah.
Chrome's good too. He's good.
Yeah, like he did good too.
First
it's just
two, like
like when Jay gave his
Yeah.
refutations, you said your stuff, and I just said like a very broad generalization because I didn't really have a lot of time. What's it called? Like, just with all that into consideration, there's just more for Naruto narratively, statements, and better performance against Pain. Like,
Yeah. But by the way, folks, make sure to hit the like button if not already. We're doing